Hello, this is Harry Payton. I'm the host of the Irvington Now Show. Today, I have as my guest Miss Cheryl Kit Turner, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And Miss Turner has told me that everyone calls her Kit, so I'm not being impolite when I call her Kit because that's the name that she prefers, and everyone knows her well by that name. So, Kit, could you give our audience some background information on yourself?
Sure. Let's see. I am the oldest of 5 children. My mom and my dad just recently passed away. My brother and I are the ones that are here holding down the fort here in Irvington. And I graduated from Montclair High School but grew up in East Orange.
That's that East Orange Montclair connection, because I know there's a great rivalry between those two cities, and you have the best of both worlds.
Yes, yeah. I went from kindergarten to end of 9th grade, and then I went to Montclair High School from 10th grade to I graduated high school.
Okay, great. Now, Kit, can you share some details about your service in the U.S. military?
Sure. I went in right after 3.5 years of college, and I went into the Air Force active duty, and it was my escape. It was either stay there and start hanging around with my friends a little bit more and get into trouble, or get out of there. So God told me to get out. So I went in the Air Force. I have 3 honorable discharges. I came out for a little bit. My dad is a 20-year man, so he was like, no, you're going back in. Uncle Sam is the only man that'll protect you down the road, so, and you can depend on him. So I went back in and ended up spending 23 years in the military. I'm the only girl in my family that went in the military.
Wow, you carried on a tradition, and I know your father was very proud, because I have not served any time in the military, but I know that military people endear themselves to the service, and when one of their children follows, and that's something special.
Oh yeah, because my brother wasn't going in, and let's see, my dad did 20 years, my stepfather did 4. My uncles did 4, and my ex-husband did 21. I did 23, and my son did 2.
Okay, beautiful, and that's so admirable, because I'm always honest with people. I remember back in my college days, they had the draft and the number, and I got a high number, and I was like, yes! I was just the opposite of yourself. I was so glad not to go into the service, because I did not want any part of the service. So it's always good when you get people like yourself, because we do need people in the service. We do need to protect our country, and even in times of peace, there are duties that have to be carried on by service persons.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Besides, it's the only place you get to go and travel around the world for free.
Absolutely. And then come back and get educational benefits, housing benefits. Now, you are now active in veteran affairs. What spurred your interest in getting involved to assist your fellow veterans?
Well, in '93, I started, in high school, I started helping people. '93, I had this dream that I wanted to do more to help my fellow veterans. And so for some reason, I kept dreaming of all these different scenarios of different houses and things of that nature. And in 2007, I was in a car accident, so they claimed me being totally and permanently disabled. So I was like, okay, I gotta find something else to do with myself where I can at least use my brains, and I stumbled upon the American Legion and the VFW. So I figured I'd join that, and then at least I have somebody to talk to, and others that walk the same way I walk.
Yes. Right. The camaraderie. Right. And that's where the interest in it. Now, we're going to discuss a lot of that because you have a uniqueness. I say that, and we'll discuss that, during the segment. But aside from your involvement with the veterans, because that's one thing, and as you said, that something that certainly you would do well because you are a veteran.
Right.
So it certainly you would have empathy for a lot of the situations. Being a disabled veteran, the term that they use, you would also be able to relate to those who are going through the many problems sometimes that are associated with it. But aside from that involvement, you also are involved in other community, youth, and service-oriented agencies. Can you share some of the details of those involvements?
Sure. Well, I started in high school being an athletic trainer, and I worked with the football, basketball, soccer, and track teams.
Okay.
So I did that from high school to college. I did Montclair High School, Glassboro High School, Glassboro State, which is now Rowan University, the U.S. Air Force, which is a semi-pro team, New Jersey Blazers, Livingston College, and UB Brown's last year of the Knicks summer basketball camp. So with that, I can't do that anymore. And I must say, being the first female athletic trainer during that time, it was a thrill, but it was a problem. Now what we do is we work with the junior ROTC. I help at the Harvest Fest up in Montclair. When we have a safety program at the post. We do coat and toy drives. We give out back to school supplies for the kids. Let's see. Anywhere there's different youth programs or whatever, because we give out plenty of scholarships. In fact, not next week I go to ALJBS, which is the New Jersey Boys State for the American Legion, and I stay there for a week. I'm the only female counselor there, but I have the best job where I can mess with the kids all day long. And what we do is we take the 11th graders that are now getting ready to become seniors. We take them for a week down at Rider University, and we teach them how to run from like dog catcher all the way up to being the governor, national state senator. So I enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. I sell the alumni cards and pins, which lets everybody know that these kids are the best of the best in New Jersey. And Boys State is within the top 3 of the nation. So it gives me a lot of pride.
Right.
Because you figure Senator Booker, Menendez, Neil Armstrong, Michael Jordan, several pro athletes, Governor Christie have all been alumni of Boys State. Maybe not Jersey Boys State, but Boys State. So at least I know I'm doing something to give back. Right,
and look at the credentials, the kind of people that you're training. It shows that training is leading to future leaders. People who are now we are recognizing them as leaders, but they actually got a lot of their start through the organization and persons such as yourself that gave them that leadership ability.
Oh yeah, and I'm mostly proud of the fact that most of our guys have 3.0 to 4.0s. I took one of the young men that I had been talking to for a couple of years. He had a 1.3 GPA, and he wasn't supposed to go, but I took a chance and let him go. And when he graduated high school, his senior year, he became class valedictorian. So it was a little experiment that I tried, but it works.
Right, and it's good that you, again, sometimes that's what our youth need. They need someone to, have faith in them, have confidence in them, and it's rewarding when you see the end result, to know that if not for your having faith in him, he might have become enmeshed in thinking I'm just a 1.3, 1.4, and that would have been a faith that he would have cemented himself in. You had faith in him, so it allowed him to have faith in himself.
Oh yes, most definitely. If you grab a child and show them some sort of love and respect and show them and tell them that they can be anything they want to be, it works. It works.
Beautiful. Now, in your opinion, with all your involvement, why is it important for citizens to be involved in assisting the community, youth, and other service-oriented agencies and groups?
Because you got to remember, the youth today are our future, and if you don't grab them, I don't care who they are, whether you know them, you don't know them, or whatever the case may be, if you just grab them and give them that little sense of inspiration and pride, we might find them out in the street or in the police car doing the things that they don't want to do. So it's best to grab them when you can.
And I am in total agreement with you. There's not a youth that I don't engage, good, bad, or indifferent. People sometimes are intimidated by our youth, but I find that when you approach them correctly, and now that I've gotten a little older, can call someone son. Come here, son.
Yeah.
And it's a term of endearment. A lot of our youth haven't heard that term.
Right.
Son, call me son. He's not my dad, but he still call me son. And it gives you great pride. I had this happen to me. I attend a lot of the school events since my children attended Irvington High School. They've been out of Irvington High School since the 90s, but I still continue to attend the events. And one day I was in a pizza shop, ordered a pizza, and me and the young man was just talking. And when I left, I noticed that I had extra in my order, and I called back and said, maybe you made a mistake, I have some extra. He said, Mr. Payton, I remember you from back when you used to come to our games and everything, and I just thought that would be my token. And this was a grown man.
Right.
And I didn't recognize him from Adam, but he recognized me, and that just shows that the time I took just to come to the game, even though none of my children were there, the children do know this. So.
Oh yeah, they do. And I can say that I basically raised 2/3 of the people in Montclair through sports, because of the simple fact that you figure from the age of 14 till I graduated high school, in the summertime I would come back from college and I'd still work in the parks and everything else. So it's nice to come up and run into people that, oh yeah, I remember you used to be in the park with us and everything else, and it's nice.
Yes,
it's nice to be remembered.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, audience, you hear that. We hope that you will take the time to, engage. You don't have to be as involved as Kit. She has totally immersed herself in it. Sometimes that's a person's passion and they can do it. But take one youth. Sometimes it may not be something that you want to do, but when you find out the great impact that you have on the children's lives, you'll be like us. I couldn't stop now if I wanted to, and I know you're the same way.
No,
you just couldn't stop.
not at all.
Look forward to it. It makes a day that's ordinarily a bad day, it makes a good day.
Yes, because now that my son is grown, when we first moved back to Montclair, I told him, I said, you better watch out. Try not to do anything wrong, because there's too many people around here that know who your mother is. And he thought I was kidding, because he didn't grow up in that type of environment. He grew up overseas. And everywhere he went, because we look alike, people were like, oh, are you Kitten's son? And he was like, yeah, why? I know your mother. Oh, and I was like, yep, see? Because I took care of them.
Yes.
When they misbehaved in the park, then they knew that if I had kids, they have my permission to,
Yes.
and everywhere he went, whether it was to get a haircut or just go down the street, and then half of his friends ended up, their parents knew me, so he was like,
so what you was talking
that was
about.
That village, you know?
Yes, that's a good thing, and that's so much of what we need to continue. Everyone knowing everyone, and everyone's kid is our kid. We have to be able to raise the children that way.
Yes.
So we'll take a short break, and we'll come back and discuss more, because it's something very interesting that we'll discuss about you and your career.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Yes, and this is Harry Payton. We're back today. My guest is Miss Cheryl Kit Turner, and as I said in the first segment, in case you didn't see it, she prefers, and everyone knows her as Kit, so when I refer to her as Kit, I'm not being disrespectful, I'm following orders. Kit, earlier we gave the audience information on some of your involvement, as America is about to make history with the presumption, about to be nominated of the first female nominated for the office of president. You have also been successful in breaking the proverbial glass ceiling. That's the ceiling where women have never risen beyond that proverbial glass ceiling. Can you share with our audience what I'm referring to, some of the details of some of the first that you've established as female?
Sure. For 17 years, it seemed like I didn't do it on purpose, okay? But by being an athletic trainer, I ended up being the first black female in all the schools, the sports, and everything else that I worked with for 17 years. And then when I joined the American Legion, I became the first female commander of the post that I later found out my dad was a member of, but he had passed away beforehand. And I was the commander there for 2 years. Then I ended up being the 4th black female state vice commander for the American Legion. I am the first female post commander for the VFW here in Irvington. And I am the second female but first black female, what you call district, but it's the same thing as being a county commander for the VFW. So, yeah.
Right, and those to those who don't know, and I would say, again, correct me if I'm wrong, especially in the military, they use the expression "old boy," and the military has, like a lot of society, opened up, but those are establishments and titles that have long been traditionally male-oriented, male-dominated, and you are sitting here with a real groundbreaker. She has taken that glass ceiling, and almost as if you can see this, hopefully you'll see it, she's taken that ceiling and said, "Huh," and broken that ceiling. It's no longer there, and your daughter, my children are older, so they're probably not going to serve, but I have grandchildren, granddaughters, and great-granddaughters who now don't have that ceiling sitting above them the way it was back when you first started out, and thank you so much for that.
Well, you figure the American Legion is 97 years old now, and the VFW is 119 years. But they're celebrating their 97th year also in New Jersey. So you look at it this way. It's been the old man's club for 97 years. So it's time that we women stepped up. We are now 10% of the armed forces. So we have to step up. We have to let them know that, hey, we're here. We serve just like they did.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. And in this oft-times male-dominated society, can you share with us how you've overcame some of the obstacles you encountered, being a female in a male-dominated environment?
Well, the best thing to say and do is to go to school. Learn as much as you possibly can. Find out about that organization that you're in. And then you start hanging around with the big boys. You know, once you start hanging with them, you start doing a lot of things with them, talking to them, asking them questions and things of that nature. Then they don't look at you as if, oh, well, she's just female. You know, when you can start talking the way they talk and knowing half of the things and trying to implement brand new things that they haven't yet tried, then they look at you like, wow, okay, you're somebody I can rely on because I know you're doing what you're doing and you're not just playing around, you're not wasting time or whatever the case may be. But majority of the times I'm usually either the only female or maybe one of 3 or 4 females. And we're all dynamite.
Beautiful.
We learned how to get along.
Right. And that's a good thing. Again, like you said, you show by example. I know that you mentioned sports, and I know that myself, not being the biggest person, I have a great passion and love of football, and that's how I kind of took on that same role in football, you know, around all the big guys and, you know, I have a guy here, we have some fun with him. And I never forget, I made my impact by going after one of the best persons on the team during the summer type practice, and he literally was laughing, okay, you're going to tackle me, okay, don't hurt me. And I tackled him so hard that he got up and wanted to fight me, and that's how you know that I really hit him good, and I became known as a very aggressive tackler. But, you know, it was earning their respect. Right. So I think you're just saying that once you earn their respect, they kind of forget that you're a female because they respect the person that you are.
Yes, because they know that once you're really into what you're doing and everything else, then that shows that they can relax.
Yes, beautiful. Now, recently, you received a commendation from the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Can you share with the audience the details of this commendation and any other commendations that you might have received due to your being the first female or just having overcome obstacles or adversities? Sure.
I have to first give thanks to Brendan Gill, who is the freeholder in Montclair. He nominated me for the award, and what they do is all the freeholders nominate somebody from the military, and they, you know, give us an award for serving. I got the She Serve Award from Assemblywoman Tucker. I got the Public Safety Award from Assemblywoman Oliver. The Homeless Award from the American Legion. I also got the NAACP Award, Montclair Neighborhood Development Award for being the the Veterans Affairs Officer, and the Madison's Who's Who VIP Award for the work that I do with the homeless, and also Covington's Who's Who's VIP Award for executive.
Right, you come very highly decorated, and that just shows that good work pays off. People recognize, and they, you know, in a society where sometimes people who are doing good work don't get recognized enough, it's good to see. You know, you mentioned several people. I have met Freeholder Gill, but some other of my good friends that you mentioned, Assemblywoman Tucker, who was a guest on the show previously, and previous Assemblywoman Oliver, Sheila Oliver, who also, you know, very also females who have risen and done things that are accolades that any of our daughters and granddaughters and great-granddaughters can be proud of. So I'm glad that they recognized your accomplishments and gave you those commendations.
Well, those are my heroes, not to mention my good friend, Councilwoman Dr. Renee Baskerville. We graduated high school together, but I look at them and their accomplishments and everything else, and I've never looked at what I've done to be like a major accomplishment or anything like that. It's just doing what I do best.
Beautiful. Just doing what you do best, and that's a good thing. Now, Kit, can you share with our audience details about New Hope Village for Veterans Incorporated?
Sure. I'm the president and founder. I started what was, at least before Hope Home, in 1 September 2007. I was in a car accident on the New Jersey Turnpike. I went out the car head first, and they told me that, well, you're totally and permanently disabled, you can't work anymore, and everything else. So what I did was, I had a house that had 4 floors on it, and I really just went through it, and before I had the accident, fixed up all the floors, and then I started taking in homeless people. I took in a mother and her 2 sons who had just come over from Jamaica. Her son got a scholarship to Drew University, so she didn't want him to come over by himself, so she brought her and her younger son over. They stayed on my 2nd floor. I helped them. Then my son came to me and said, "Mom, I have a friend and his mom, they just got evicted from their house." So on our 3rd floor, which used to be my bedroom, there was 2 rooms and a full bathroom up there. So I let them go stay up there. And then eventually I got a knock on the door, and it was one of my friends that told me, "Well, you know, we have this veteran. He just got out not too long ago. Come to find out, his dad used to be the former police chief down in Newark, and he was sleeping in a dumpster." So I took him in and I put him down in my basement, and we all just lived together. You know, we lived in one great big old house. Everybody worked together. The lady on the 2nd floor and I, we went to school together. My son went to school with us. Her son went to Drew. Then the youngest one went to Essex County College. The lady on the 3rd floor was going to school to get her master's degree in clinical psychology. And I just took everybody where they had to go. If you didn't have a car and you had to go someplace or go to work or whatever the case may be, I would just take them around. My vet, we took and went back and forth to the VA in East Orange, Lyons, and everything else. And by the time we all got situated and everything else, we have a master's in clinical psychology. We have my 2nd floor neighbor and I, we both graduated from Anthem Institute. My son graduated from Anthem Institute. Her son graduated from Drew University. That's the oldest one. He is now a research doctor. My vet is clean and sober. He has a job. And her youngest one, I think, just finished with, or about to finish, civil engineering. So, yeah, we work together. Miss Joan would cook. You know, we'd get the food, she'd cook, and oh yeah, we had a ball. We all worked, you know, we all did everything more or less helping each other.
So your New Hope Village is an offset of that.
Yes.
To continue what you started, to make it more, where more people can.
What it's going to be basically is, I'm already doing the social services, but we're trying to raise the funds now to build a house. Well, not a house, but like an apartment building, and possibly 3 buildings, a training facility and a community center. And it's where military families can come and live to prevent homelessness and everything else. So we're in the process. We have 2 spots that we're really looking at, and they're both here in Irvington. And what it will do is, we're using it for homeless preventionists, permanent housing, helping those get their benefits and jobs and things of that nature, and keeping us together as a family. Because if you notice, we sit between the West Orange Armory and the Newark Armory, and the majority of the kids that are in the Guards and Reserves, by them, if they don't go overseas, they don't qualify as a veteran, they just qualify as being military people, and they don't get the same benefits as a veteran does. So I'm trying to offset that by giving them a gorgeous place to live and teaching everyone to work together as one great big family, making sure that we all go to school, we teach our kids the right way, because if you notice, the Guards and Reservists are state employees. The active duty members are federal employees, so they don't receive the same benefits. So the majority of them have never lived on a base. So what I'm trying to do is bring that base atmosphere where we all live together, we work together, we help each other out in whatever, and if your spouse does get deployed, at least you got people that are there that know how you feel,
Yes.
they're all in the same boat. So that is the purpose of the building, and I think that, I should say, I know that we'll make a difference. We'll make a big difference.
And what we'll do is we will provide details if you want to contact Ms. Turner. I'm going to call you Ms. Turner for this.
Okay.
Ms. Turner, to donate. Certainly we want you to do this. We have to continue to support people who are doing the kind of work that Ms. Turner Kit is doing, because how many of us are out there doing that? And if we're not doing it, we have to support people who are doing that, because there certainly is a need. So
Yes.
I'm going to put that information on the screen. Please, if you would, I know we have people out there who are very kind. Could you please, it doesn't matter how big or how small, it starts small and it ends up big. If you can assist her, please contact her at the number we will provide. Now, I actually met you on Veterans Day, was
Memorial
it?
Day.
Memorial Day. We always get it mixed up and my head was going to mess up. But on Memorial Day, Irvington had a beautiful Memorial Day parade. You were there along with many of the other veterans and the youth, and the entire town seemed like it came out under the leadership of our Honorable Mayor Tony Voss. And all of a sudden, as we're about to close the ceremony, I hear someone saying, Harry. And I'm looking around, and I'm looking around, and the mayor is calling me in the midst of the crowd. I'm like, what did I do wrong? And what he said once I got to him, he said, Harry, I want Kit to be a guest on your show. Mr. Mayor, if you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it, but it's been my honor. I thank you for introducing me to Cheryl Kit Turner. She is a person that I have come to admire, and a person that should be on the show. Thank you so much for being on the show. But before we bring this to a close, there is a speech that I'd like for you to give, because it's a speech that you were to deliver on Memorial Day, and I want my audience to hear it. So if you would, deliver that speech for us.
Well, first I have to let you know that whenever the mayor sees me, he always hollers, Kit Kat, how are you? How are you? And I'm always giving him cough drops because he's always having a sore throat.
Yes.
Okay, now the thing about this speech is to inform those that don't know who and what we are, okay? So don't take offense, or I'm not mad or anything of that nature. It's just to let you know who we are when it comes to what we call a veteran. We are the ones that put on a uniform, promise to protect our God, country, and give freedom to those that stayed home. We put our lives on the line, whether we were drafted, volunteered during World War I, World War II, the Korean Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. For whatever reason, we raised our right hand once, twice, sometimes 6 or 7 times, and was very proud as we did it. When we finished basic training, it was the proudest day of our lives because we knew we had just finished the first journey and the first step of the hardest part of a brand new journey. We knew we were part of something bigger than ourselves. Some of us may have been the first in our families or just following a long line of family history. We are strong and proud. And when you see us walking down the street, our backs are straight, our head is held high, and we walk, yes, different than most. Because after 6, 8, or 16 weeks, we are taught to walk this way. And it feels so good that we do it without even thinking about it in and out of uniform. There is so much of us on the outside there's so many people on the outside that don't understand. But my brothers and sisters that wore that uniform, we all know well. Yes, sometimes we may even speak a different language than you because we sometimes speak in acronyms. We learn the same jobs that you do. The only thing different is we're also taught to carry a weapon, drive a tank, a truck, or whatever, a plane, or whatever it takes to keep you safe. After the first 3 wars, you gave us a hero's welcome. But after Vietnam, you spit in our face, you called us baby killers, and things of that. Do you know what we did? What we had to go through to keep you safe? To keep us safe? You sleep in your warm beds. We sometimes sleep in the mud, under trucks, on tarmacs, any place. And sometimes we go without sleep altogether. You can drive your fancy cars and you can sleep in your nice warm beds, but we're here to protect you. Only God knows what we went through. Trust me, we did not sign up for this, but we do it all just to say thanks. After all the things that we went through, do you expect us to come home and be the same person we used to be? Tell me, what did you do for us? Did you write us? Did you call us? Did you send us things that we may have needed? What did you do for your freedom today? You didn't even come to say hello when we came back home. Do you see, do you know who and what we stand for? Truth, justice, and the American way. But instead, you treat us like dirt because we don't fit in to the life that we paid for you to have. We joined together to form groups like the VFW and American Legion and the DAV and the AMVETS. These are groups where we are all veterans. We all speak the same language. We've gone through the same things. These are groups that help your children, help our children. We have oratorical contests. We have Voice of Democracy. We have Patriots Pen. We have Teachers of the Year Award, Boy Scouts, Junior ROTC, Junior Law Enforcement, Fireman of the Year, EMT, Policeman of the Year. We have all kinds of awards and things that we do for you. So those that have put that uniform on, I'm asking you now, come join us. because it's not the old man's club anymore. We need you. We need your younger members, because if you don't come join us, then the legacy that those that came before us will be gone, and the post will be closed, and our history will be no longer. So come on out. This is your time. We can help you. We have so many different scholarships, even now for your kids and for you too. So come join us here at Post 1941 in Irvington. Every Saturday morning we have a free breakfast, and everybody is welcome. We do a coat and toy drive. In December, we do a back to school drive where we hand out school supplies to kids of all ages. So come on out, join us, and we're only here to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I hope that you just appreciate what was said, because this is the voice of many of the men and women that we see. Sometimes we see people on the street and they don't look like us. They may be just in the street wandering or not looking like, they are what we consider productive. Sometimes you have to sit down and talk to these people and find out what they dealt with. What did they see? Have you ever seen a person lose their arm? Have you ever seen your best friend just get eliminated right by your side, like me and Kid are sitting here, just lose that person? Those are mind traumatizing experiences, and we, as I mentioned earlier, I ran the opposite way. When I said, okay, I'm glad I got a high draft number, and I'm being honest because I did. I wanted no part of guns and shooting and everything. Many of you are like me, admit it. But when we have men and women that take the time to serve, and the way that they serve, as was mentioned so eloquently in the speech, when we're sleeping in our nice warm beds, they're not sleeping in nice warm beds. Let's take the time to appreciate them. Let's take the time to say thank you for your service, and let's do better for our citizens and especially our veterans. So thank you very much, Kid. It's been my pleasure having you on the show. I've said it before, I thank the Honorable Mayor of Irvington, Tony Voss, for giving me this opportunity to host the show. But it helps me because I get to meet people like yourself.
Yes.
I would not know your background without the research that I have to do for the show, and then bringing it to the audience so that they also know. If you see Kid in the street, say hello, say thank you. I saw you on the show. You tell me you see me on the show. So, let her know you saw her on the show, and tell her that you appreciate the groundbreaking things that she's done, and also her service and the work she's doing to continue to help our vets. So we thank you very much for watching the show, and I hope that you've enjoyed the show as much as I've enjoyed putting it on. We'll see you again next time.